Oh, day 2, Cathro. I can't do this. Hang on. So yeah, it's Cathro Vision day 2. Today is the first day of practice and it is going to be exciting. The guys are heading up for B practice right now, so I gotta get up there. Let's go. Let's watch some loamy, roosty, crunching, rocky, amazing action. Oh, just missed the start of practice. Could just see the first riders going off as I was getting to the top gondola station. But let's go, people are on track. Seeing people struggling with those first run jitters. Someone's just crashed off the drop onto the road, and then right after that someone in the very first turn folded the front and then flipped over the bars. I think it's just people thinking World Cup, gotta go fast. Just keep it mellow. Yo! Top section is running nice this morning. There's a little bit of morning dew on the dirt, which is just holding it together. And there's no holes yet, so the berms are just carbon. Looks good. So this is the section I was filming at yesterday when I was talking about multiple line choice. When I was editing it, I realised I didn't even get a shot of like the full section. So we're checking it out now. And there's a few different lines going on. Let's see what's happening. So for me, line choice is a combination of 3 things. Distance, because shorter is faster. Support, more support there is, faster you can go. And difficulty, if it's really hard then it might not be worth it. Clearly inside's the shortest, so that's an advantage. Does it have as much support? No, it's more difficult because it's more awkward to get into. So it's trying to find a balance of benefit and negative. Currently I feel like the inside is the faster one. I saw Miriam Nicole hit it. It was slightly slower in, but she was much faster out, and it was a shorter distance. But you could see someone else do it and do the outside just as fast, because different lines suit different people. We'll see how a few of the others tackle it. So in terms of line choice here, it looks like each different line has its own merits. Super outside looks like it's not got much support, but if you do get it bang on, you carry loads of speed out. Middle, a little bit trickier, but you also carry speed and get high on the way out. Inside, lots of speed out, but it pushes you low in the exit when you really want to be getting high on the next off camera to set up for the next corner. So I think it's mostly going to come down to personal preference. Personally, what I would try and do is come wide into the turn, but then pull across to the middle after the rocks and then swing high on the way up to the next bit. To me that feels like the most consistent speed carrying with the most grip. Yeah, exactly like that. Practice starting this morning, Keith?
It should have been at 8 o'clock.
Aye.
But it was actually 19 minutes past 8 due to 2 marshals missing. Not ideal.
And how long did B practice get?
19 minutes less now.
So conditions right now are prime. People aren't being too precise, they're just kind of going where they want, pushing in where they want, and they're just gripping. It's like running real nice, but it is forecast at some point to have some thunderstorms. So when it rains here, it's going to be a whole different ball game. There are so many roots hidden under this loam. Do you know the difference between 2 and 4?
Not, it seems no. Yeah, because I made a fundamental error when informing Reese of his flight time yesterday, or on Tuesday. Yeah, this is true. Hence why we're walking the track now.
When did you get here?
Last night, very late.
Ah, nice.
Yeah, it was. It's been a hectic few days. I also got armed police officers approached me for fiddling in my helmet bag.
What?
Yeah, so I got taken to the little white room and fully interviewed for having a supposed bomb.
Is that why you're waddling a little bit?
No, this is a separate injury. I'm just all sorts of mess at the moment.
Oh, so it wasn't a cavity shot?
No, no.
No, okay.
No, fortunately.
Have you tweaked your knee again?
Yeah.
So this section's super interesting. There's high lines on every turn. So do you go a little bit slower in to get high for each turn all the way down the steep section, or do you go in faster and just take the lower, more supportive lines? I'm favouring high, but we'll need to see what they do. So in my eyes, the outside to outside is clearly faster up to this rooty turn, but then it's looking like it's really hard to commit over the stepped roots into the left-hand compression. It can be faster, but it's a lot harder, and if it rains it'll be really tricky. But then getting inside on the corner further up is also challenging, but gives you a much more favourable line across those stepped roots. Again, it's personal preference, they look similar. I was stood here wondering if anyone would take the high line off of this rock, and Henry Kerr comes in and just takes, nearly flipping hits me. My own fault for getting too close. But coming in off this rock really straightens up the next section and should allow you to then carry more speed down into the next bit. It's not just free coffee you get in the press room. I've stocked up. For anyone that was watching the course preview with Claudio, this is where he crashed. And if you want to know why, when he came over the crest on the way in, he went a little bit too tight. His front wheel caught the bank on the inside and it slid it and turned it. And if your wheel suddenly turns, it's like pulling your front brake on. So you got a sudden stopping force, which made his arms cave. And then in the next hole, he just got out of balance, hit that rock and flipped over the bars. So his crash was just because he was on the wrong line. Easy to do when you only ride your bike 7 times a year. That's the A riders now on track. Guess who was first man down? He is dedicated. Damn, Daniel! Oh! Watch out for that one though. So if you come into this fast enough to jump the full step down and you hit that rock with the bike weighted, you'll take off and you'll land so far down and right before the takeoff that the compression will steal all your speed and you just won't be able to make it. So the guys that are going to do it nice will lift the bike up before you get to the rock off the first route, and it'll allow them to either clear the stone and drive the bike into the downslope after it, or they'll just skim it but still be able to get the bike down sooner. It's the way. So this section down here is real cool. There's 3 clear lines here. There's fully left and gap. There's right then cutting over to left, which gives you the better line into the next gap. Or there's all the way down the right, which has less impact but a worse line into the gap. When looking at this kind of section, what are you looking, just speed or safety?
On this one, it's pretty tight above us and it leads out to like a pretty flat open straight section, so kind of just looking for the most exit speed. I think if you set up early for the outside, you could kind of just let your speed roll out through the end of the turn, so we'll probably go for that one.
So Greg.
Hey Van.
So Greg, see when you're practicing, do you section stuff?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Pretty much here as well. So important, there's so many lines.
Yeah. Because I've seen some people will stop, have a look, and then just roll down with the aim to do it next run.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I'm more a person who likes to get out of the way and then come through next run as well and get it good. Yeah, no, there is a lot of rolling through actually as well, but only because you don't want to burn too much energy pushing up all day.
When looking at sections like this, are you looking for the ultimate fastest line or the most consistent?
I think this track's tough because it's like changes a lot, so for me I'm kind of looking for something consistent that I can ride fastest for me. Some big risks you can take on this track, but I don't know, first day of practice if that's the time. So just trying to get the flow of it and stay smooth and consistent.
Hey look, there's David! There's David!
Muy grande.
Ya, pero con la No es posible.
Yeah. It's 2 o'clock, sun's out, I'm overheating. Camera's overheating as well, it's got warning lights flashing. I'm gonna go have a siesta. So we'll come to media room to cool off and cool the camera off. Also charge up all the batteries. I think now I'm going to head round pits, talk to some teams. A lot of people don't have a clue about brake pads and kind of what brake pads they should be running.
Yes.
So for here, it's steep, it's hot. What would you recommend?
I recommend the resin pad here for sure.
Why?
The metal pad, it retains too much heat, and it'll cook the brake rotors and actually turns them purple.
Really?
And then it kind of anneals the rotor, it changes the material, and it never will come back. So we want to keep the brakes cooler, and so the resin pads definitely keep the brake cooler. And I believe the resin pads have an alloy backing, and the metal pads have big steel rivets in them, and so yeah, there's just more stuff to retain heat, and you want the heat to dissipate. So, so the steeper tracks, you want a resin pad, and then when you get it to a track with more moisture, the metal pad.
That's in my team.
How you look? I'll zoom in. Yeah, it looks nice. That's good. So, team manager, it's a pretty expansive term. I mean, what are your jobs? What do you do?
Every team manager brings their skill set to the job. So my talents happen to be cooking and logistics and trying to keep a family atmosphere. So those are things I really try and emphasize. I'm also in charge of doing the whole budget for the team and monitoring all that, and generally looking after the well-being of the rider. And the reason, I want them to reserve their energy for hurling their bodies down the hill.
How long have you been team manager?
Okay, so I've been the team manager of the Santacruz Syndicate for 14 years. So it started in 2003. Darren Stockton is a former teammate of mine on Maxxis back in the 90s. And he started Intense Tire Systems on Santacruz frames. Rob Roskopf really liked the team, and in 2004 it became not Intense Tire Systems went away, it became Santacruz Syndicate from then. And on that team we had Henry O'Donnell, sorry, it's been so long, Kurt Voorhees, Cameron Zink, Nathan Rennie, Johnny Waddell, the characters, and then we had a whale of a time. And then Petey came on board in 2006, and then Greg came on in 2008, and Nathan exited in 2009, and Petey retired just last year, as you know. So Greg's been my rider for 10 years, and so yeah, the family goes on.
This is a question from Stewie. So he's saying he's injured at the minute, and he's wondering, after your injury, what motivates you to come back?
After injuries, it's always tough to get back in, but you need to find that one thing to focus on. You know, that thing that's gonna force you to come back and as quickly as possible. And for me, it was just to get back on the bike and to get back racing. You know, I'd spent the whole off season preparing, and it seemed like such a waste. So I was tanking every day to try and get back on the bike, and we really forced the physio through. And you know, when you've got that goal, it really helps the recovery. I think we managed to get the time down to about 7 weeks.
Oh, it's still healthy.
So it was a good gap, but I mean, for the type of injury it couldn't have been any quicker, really.
So, being a team manager, there's lots of jobs involved. Who makes your job the hardest? Who's the most unorganised annoyance in the team?
Whoa, that's a tough one. Everyone's pretty cool on the team, to be fair.
Oh,
hang on, I'm just starting it off with that. Majestic doesn't listen to a lot of stuff sometimes. Elliot's fairly good, to be honest. He used to talk a bit too much, but he's calmed that down. He's a good lad. He could do with doing a few more things for himself because his mum does everything for him, but she's on top of that. I'll have to say B-Dog. Getting him to email you back is the hardest thing in the entire industry.
And B-Dog, his full name is?
Brooks, the mechanic. He cannot email you back.
If it requires an answer, I'll email you back. But if it doesn't,
everybody else in the entire world emails you back. Never bothered.
So, Claudio, talk us through it. What happened yesterday?
Well, you know, try to take the pro line and show Greg and Aaron which one to not take.
Did your front wheel just slip, or?
No, I don't know. I had like the Rachel moment, like she did in Mountain N, and I thought, okay, just hold on to your handlebars and see if it works. And first I thought I'd crash, and then I thought, no, I have it, and then I'm like, no, I don't.
And is this the aftermath?
Yeah, well, it's well up quite a bit. I should have gotten some stitches, but I couldn't be bothered to go to see a doctor, so we just taped it up.
So I actually remembered, I asked Danny one of the Patreon questions yesterday and I forgot to put it in the video, so I'll cut to that now. So Danny, we got a question from Neil Clamp. What piece of biking tech has really changed the game for you?
It's a tough one this, because I'm not really the most techie sort of guy. I just get on my bike and ride it, but the past 18 months I've been using a Sturgis power meter, so that's a pretty big deal. And then obviously you have a Garmin head unit, and it just allows you to go back after your ride and see what you've done and what power you were putting out and stuff like that. So that's a pretty good one.
Helps you with improving? Yeah,
sure. Helps me with training, and I'm a bit of a geek for numbers, so I like to look at top speed and average speed and all that stuff, so pretty fun.
Cheers for that, Danny, legend. So yeah, time training is going on now for top 80, and it's on for the next hour, so we'll go up, catch some of the fast boys putting in some timed runs. Come up to the lower woods for one reason and one reason alone. There is a big drop to flat that everyone is getting a big geo on, except Minar, who's doing this gap. I'm pretty sure he's the only one doing it, and I just missed him. He went down about 10 minutes ago. I hope he's going to go for another run. I'm going to camp out and I'm going to get the shot. In the meantime, I might speak a lot of rubbish about exactly how you do it and how you ride this smooth, and just get some people bottoming out. Why not? So it looks like there's two main ways of doing this drop. There's guys that are going off the middle where there's this rock that sticks out maybe a couple of feet, and when you go off of that, if you go at any kind of speed, you end up landing to flat, and it's like a really big G out. So others are coming in wide, turning before it to get inside of this stone, and it allows them to get on the ground sooner and not as harsh a landing. What you'll see a lot of the guys doing on this drop is just as they come into it, they're about to go off of it, you'll see they'll drop their torsos, like bend their arms and legs as they go off it, to then push the bikes down. And it's not as simple as just lowering yourself so you can push the bike to the ground. What's actually happening is they're dropping their main body mass diagonally through the edge of the drop, so it allows them to get to the ground sooner because they've already generated this downward momentum by dropping their body weight in free fall. And it's like, I call it the advanced squash. So it's just generating downward momentum by dropping the body at the last moment. It's really cool. Oh. Boo. You didn't do it. I will get it at some point this weekend. Just gotta be here at the right time. So that is it, day 2 is done. What a day! This track is amazing. It's so rough, the guys are going so fast, there's lines everywhere, I love it, it's so good. So yeah, it's 5 o'clock, I have so much footage. It's going to be a really rough cut, or it was a really rough cut, apologies. But yeah, gotta get cracking. But anyway, if you really like this video, please like it, and if you want to see more, subscribe, because there's more coming. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow for qualifying.